Hello, 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 y'all. Welcome on in. What day is it today? Today's Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. It's this is my life now. I don't even know what day of the week it is. I see we've got two smoking barrels over on YouTube. We've got Theo and Workspend here on Twitch. How are y'all doing? We're also streaming live on Streamplace. I'm streaming to all the important places. All the important places. How are y'all doing today? I hope you are having a wonderful week so far. It's been a week here. It's definitely I say this every week lately. It's like life has just gotten wild. Sorry, I realize anyone else who streams with glasses realizes this. As soon as you turn on your stream lights, you realize just how dirty your glasses are because every little speck of dirt on the glasses becomes like a dad joke's punchline becomes apparent. And it's like, oh, I can't even see. So there we go. Now I can see well. So yeah, it's been a week. It's been a week that's happened. I've been on phone calls with attorneys, and that's never good. As well as pipelines and easement people. It's been bad. It's been bad. My mom is going through what I can only describe as homeowners association hell. It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. I was talking about it, I think, a little bit on the last stream. My mom is 80. Things have happened in her homeowners association, and the problem, you know, you hear about all these homeowners associations in the United States that are corporations, and they do corporation things and screw people over. My mom's homeowners association, the issue is that there is no management company. It's just people in the community. And I will just say, retired people have way too much time on their hands to be all up in their neighbor's business. I'll just say that because she's in one of those over 55 communities. And oh my goodness, it's not delightful. I will just put it that way. So I've been working a bunch of that stuff out. I'm also, as I've been alluding to, and I can't wait until I can reveal it, what it is. I've been working on a big project with Elgato. And yes, hold on. Okay. Hold on one second here. One second. Speaking of homeowners association stuff. One second. Okay. There we go. Retired folks that became HOA officials are a special type of special. You know, Bone Dragon, here's the thing. Workspen, first time on your stream, happen to be here. Welcome, Works, and good to see you, Chozilla. I hope, Chozilla, you're looking at the subject of today's stream, because we are going to be getting Retro Effects working on Flatpak. There's been an influx of folks wanting Retro Effects to work on Flatpak, so that's what we're going to work on today. But Bone Dragon, here is the ironic part of the whole thing. My dad, as a retiree, he was someone who really, truly cared about his neighbors, and was on this particular homeowners association board for years and years and years. And unfortunately, he's since passed away. But everyone loved it. It was great. Things are not so good now. So it's not always all retired folks that become HOA officials are a special type of special. In this case, it very much is. Is it just me? I'm just wait a second. Influx of Flatpak. No, there's a lot of Flatpak going on, Chozilla. We were working on Flatpak for... I think I did that on stream, didn't I? We were working on Flatpak stuff for the new version of OBS and testing that Flatpak worked properly and stuff a couple weeks ago, which it all is. So, yeah, we're having a Flatpak boom for OBS. I've got other plugins that I need to get working on Flatpak. I want to figure out how to automate the whole thing. Since there are upcoming changes to OBS that'll change how things have to go through Flatpak for plugins for OBS a little bit, some of the structure of where things go. I was dragging my feet on doing it, but we're having some real world scenarios here where folks, they need their Flatpak now, and I get it. And I'm a man of the people. I am a man of the people. So we are going to provide the people with what the people need. And in this case, the people is Chozilla, and I think some others. So we're going to be working on that here shortly. Let's see. So yeah, the other thing I'm super excited about, doing some really, really fun work on an exciting project for Elgato, and I am we're going to start the hype train. Something is coming. Something is coming. I cannot tell you when. I cannot tell you what it is related to, but something is coming to what's it called? To Elgato. Elgato. And I'm working on it. And it's one of the cooler things that I've worked on, and I am really, really pumped. Your stream is dead. Burning effects will save you and make you hot again. But will it be this kind of hot? I don't think I'd use any retro effects in this particular effect here, but if we can get you going this hot, yeah. That transition is all sorts of broken. No NVIDIA broadcast. That's right. That's right. We gotta figure out how we can get a little bit of AR going on. You would be able to do this effect. This is all retro effects, and this doesn't use any NVIDIA AR. You could also, let's see, what else would be retro effects? This is definitely retro effects. And, is there anything, what other retro effects? TV head. Oh no, that uses AR. Yeah. So you'll be able to, how do I turn this off? There we go. You'll be able to, I do implement scanline. So why don't we do a quick overview of what is in retro effects? That would be fun to do. And I can show you all the goodness that is in retro effects. Let's see here. Do you have a tape head drift? Yes. Believe it or not, I do. Believe it or not, I do. Believe it or not, I do. I'm sorry. I promised I would never sing again, but here I'm singing again. Let's do a quick retro effects overview.
And we can look at all the things. This is retro effects. Just one minute here, chat. Sorry about that. This is retro effects too, because believe it or not, The Matrix came out like 27 years ago. So 2001, Matrix is so 1999. 1999. Oh. So, and I believe once it is over 25 years old, it officially qualifies as retro. So the screensaver just came in 2000. Yes, exactly. And I have to say, I think this is a pretty darn good Matrix rain effect, and it's totally customizable. Okay, let's do a retro effects overview, because that's always fun. I always love, you know, you're not supposed to name which child of yours is your favorite child, and you're not supposed to name which OBS plugin you created is your favorite OBS plugin. I would say Retro Effects is probably my favorite plugin. You also glow green a bit. That is Stroke Glow Shadow. So that is the glow effect from Stroke Glow Shadow, which I believe also might not be on the Flatpak, but we'll try to rectify that as well. Okay, let me find my proper directory here. Where did all this go? Where did my code go? It's been a while since we've
It shouldn't, Chozilla. Because it's all GPU based. We gotta think about that one. Okay, let me find plugins. Okay, so this is the version of OBS that will have the latest retro effects in. So let's fire this up, and we'll do the little retro effects overview. So you can see all the goodness that is in retro effects, and maybe this will give you some ideas on things you'll be able to do in order to take your stream to the next level. Stroke Glow Shadow's killing your CPU. Why would that be? I finally have a Linux like development environment, so now I can actually start to learn how to troubleshoot this stuff on Linux. It's there. Okay, so it does exist. Okay.
Pull the lever.
Okay, we will pull the lever. I don't know if the lever will work. It didn't work last time. Is it going to work this time? Is it going to work? Yes, it's working this time. What is going to happen? Cam effect. Hologram. For 5 whole seconds. For 5 whole seconds. There you go. What makes it... Why is there a... What? Who? What? Where? What are we talking about? What are we talking about here? Oh my god, dog. Hold on just a second. Ollie, you either need to go lay down. We have a dog here. Ollie, go in your bed. Go lay down in your bed. Go lay down. Hold on, chat. He either needs to lay down or he needs to... We're not doing the pacing thing. Go lay down. The redeem is called Wrong Lever Kronk. Oh, it's a meme, Dimitri. It's a meme from a movie. Oh, there he quickly walked in on frame. Ollie, go lay down. Oh, go. Go. Be a good boy. You're always a good boy, but be a good boy. No, don't. Oh my gosh, dog. Come on. Okay. Then you gotta go upstairs. 1 second here. We're having technical difficulties. This is why they say you never work in show business with animals or something like that. 1 second, chat. No, he doesn't. He doesn't need to pee. He was just outside. He's just he gets in the office and then he wants my attention, and he knows that if he just starts pacing around the office nonstop, that it ends up getting my attention. So that's what he was doing, and he was not going to stop for a while. Okay, so here we have just a simple scene. We are going to apply some retro effects to this. You see, I've actually got some retro effects here. Let's take off our 2 little scaling aspect ratios here. And maybe we set this, I'll blow this up here. And maybe we'll set this to canvas. There we go. So we can, oh, come on. So that you can see some text here. I think I've had bad masks, then glows or shadows, and that kills. Got it. Okay. Okay. So there are a lot of different retro effects here. So let's just add a new retro effects filter. Where did you go, retro effects? There we go. This will be the 5th one in here. I'm just going to drag it to the top, and I can show you what we've got here. So the first retro effects filter we've got is a frame skip. and that needs to be fixed because it didn't come up with the UI. This basically is how many frames to skip between active frames. So if you set this up to like 5, now you see we get a slideshowy like effect. If you set this to like 15, now it's only going to update. I think this is 30 FPS, so like a couple times per second. So yeah, you can do frame skip. Next up, 2005 Twitch effect, exactly. We've got chromatic aberration, and there's a couple different types of chromatic aberration. Chromatic aberration happens with a camera lens when you know you're essentially red and green and blue kind of shift because of how the lens bends light. So here you can set an offset. So if I do like a 5-pixel offset, you now see the red channel has been shifted 5 pixels this way. This way. You can set your offset angle to like 180 degrees if you want to shift it the other way. You can literally drag this slider and see how it goes around. You can get a really neat by offsetting, I believe it's the green, like a negative offset. You can start to get like a 3D glasses effect, right? From those old like 80s 3D glasses. In addition, rather than having a full frame, you can also do a lens chromatic aberration. On lenses, it was typical that in the center of the lens, there was less bending and it to the outside. So you can see as I bring my hands in, it gets better. So we can get the effect of a crappy old lens going on here. Let's see, we have interlacing. So old TVs interlaced, right? And so if let's just set our interlace thickness to like 5. You can see when I move, when you converted digital, if you want to do a 5-second in and out flickering, you would do, yes, exactly, Chozil. You do that with the Move plugin. So when you converted analog to digital, analog signals, as many of you know, drew every other line and alternated them. And so you would, when you'd get these analog to digital conversions, if you didn't do any kind of decombing, you'd get these comb effects on any kind of motion. So that is what interlacing does. You can do alternating, top field first, bottom field first. You can also do brightness reduction, which gives kind of a scan line effect here a little bit. And you can also reduce the alpha for some strange effects if you'd like. So there is interlace. We've also got posterizing. So you can set the number of levels you want to posterize. This was done for like color reduction kind of stuff. You can get like the old Hope posters and things like that. Your graphics pipeline was advanced for 2004 DVD ripping. You never had that issue. Yeah, almost everything had a good combing filter. You don't even comb your hair, and I do want you to comb your TV. So in terms of color handling for posterizing, you can map colors. So we can take away the color information and go maybe to like from a purple to a orange or something horrible like that, and get this kind of effect. So there's all sorts of different things you can do. There's also source map colors where you're taking the vertical color in a slice of a source and using that to map your colors. Yeah, you could easily do Game Boy Cam with this. Let's see. Next up, we have a dithering algorithm. You can do ordered or unordered dithering. Unordered dithering is what the Macs used back in the day. Ordered dithering is more kind of what Windows would use. Hold on, I'm going to skip this song because it's going to distract me. You have all sorts of different settings, what kind of dithering you want to do in terms of the dithering grid, how many colors you want per channel, if you want it to be monochromatic. Round to pixel is dithering. Yes, dithering, Dimitri. Are you dithered? And then you can also adjust the contrast and the gamma and everything on the dither. Let's see, what do we have next? We have a CRT effect. I'm going to replace that with your Vinen filter. We have a CRT effect. which gives you a ton of different phosphor layouts, including phosphor mask layouts for all sorts of different TVs. You can set how intense you want it to be, or, you know, kind of have it dim out, so you can have the thing like fade in for like a matrix effect, something like that. Obviously with your dithering on TVs, you always had bloom, so you can adjust, you know, your bloom levels and threshold. It doesn't do much on this one apparently. Oh yeah, if I take my threshold way down, now you can start to see the bloom on it. Yes, there is a 4x4 dither. There is, under dither, you can set your, and this looks all crazy because of the scaling, depending on how you've scaled things. That's one thing about dither. It can look really weird when it tries to get scaled, like on your web browser or whatever. But you see, we have our bare matrix size here, so you can do 2x2, 4x4, 8x8 ordered dithering there. Let's see, back to the CRT. You can set what intensity you want for your bloom size, all of this kind of stuff. And then let's turn off the intensity here. You can see it here. We're actually getting CRT barrel effect. So if we go down here, we can start to change, not bloom, but like our corner radius. And you can start to change how much barrel distortion you want from 0 all the way on to, you know, oh, I'm trapped in a little thing here. You have vignetting that you would see on TV where on a CRT where your electron gun would fall off at the edges. So all those are adjusted. And then you've got black level and white level adjustment if you need it. So you can really dial in, you know, any kind of CRT you'd want. There's, you know, vertical line CRTs like this one right here, which will give you that vertical banding effect. Oh, hold on one second. Sorry, a child wanted to be let in from outside. We're emulating an electron gun, very advanced. If you think this one's advanced, the next is my opus. This is my opus, the NTSC effect. So this is what will really take you to feeling like you're looking at a TV from the 80s. The NTSC effect. We have got a lot of stuff going on here for the NTSC effect. We've got tuning error. So you can start to offset your tune, which starts to, you know, scramble colors and things like that. The further you go up, I'm killing my encoder right now, I realize, but you start to, you know, go the whole static TV noise. The rotating static is epic. Doesn't it take you back? Can't you taste the static electricity coming off the TV? And for those of you who are in the 80s, you know exactly what I mean. I emulated the entire analog pipeline with this filter. So essentially what we do is we go in, we encode the colors just like it would do in a the first pass of the shade. If the first pass shader encodes the colors just like an old NTSC encoder would do, transmits that data to the decoder as a second pass filter, and that decoder then injects noise and other things that were, I mean, we've actually got where did it go? Hold on, there's so many settings in here, I gotta remember where it is. We have got ghosting. So if I crank up ghosting here, This ghosting, if you lived out in the country, you would never see this ghosting that we see around here. This particular ghosting emulates what would happen in a city when you would get a signal that would then bounce off a building. So you'd get the main signal coming in and you would get a faded signal that bounced off another building or large surface and caused ghosting in your NTSC tuner. Now, this version of the NTSC effect is not in the current version of Retro Effects. I'm still cleaning it up. The old NTSC works great as well. I think it would work even better if you go down to 480i and then Chozilla, you're ahead of me. That's actually what these two filters here are. So I have a scaling aspect ratio filter here that scales down approximately to 480i. And then an upscaling filter here that takes us back. And look at that. Look, does this not look like NTSC? I would say that the green ski keying makes the edges a bit too edgy on the NT. Well, yes and no. It was a resolution issue. It was absolutely a resolution issue. But we have got horizontal skew. So when we up our tuning error here, you could change how much horizontal skew you get. And the horizontal skew would occur because as the signal came in, processing delays on certain lines of the signal coming in would get offset. We can take the snow all the way down so you can see what a tuning offset would look like with none of the, snow that's going on. We also have, you can set how much it desaturates as it gets tuning offset. You could turn off the vertical roll if you want. So if we crank the vertical roll all the way down, you'll just get something that looks like this. So we can easily get a just static TV coming in. And all of these are controlled by, with the exception of our ghost strength. I think the ghost strength should be probably its own. Well, no, I guess it is a tuning issue because it depended on things bouncing out. How does the filter handle transparent sources? It handles them just the same. So it affects the alpha channel exactly the same way it affects everything else. So if alpha is 0, you wouldn't get static in those areas, which would allow you to like do your, your chroma keyed out self and have you be all staticky, but everything else in the background be sharp. Then we have all the Luma settings. So we've got Luma noise that comes in, and you'll notice this noise actually has color to it because it's noise in the Luma portion of the NTSC signal. You've got banding, which you're seeing here. Banding was a separate artifact. It was a Luma artifact that there would be an echo in the actual signal. And you could have multiple bands that come through. So I remember seeing TV where you had like these multiple, bands coming off when things were not tuning so well. Remember where TVs just started to show a blue image when you were not tuned? Yeah, that was in the 90s, man. That was after all this stuff. And then there's the band trailing, which is a setting for how much is chroma and things like that. Oh, is that like the signal being reflected because of a bad wire? No, it was actually an issue in the encoding process where certain encoders would... Oh, no. Banding was an issue in your decoder when the signal would come in. Multiple lines stacked on top of each other that were delayed would cause sort of an echo to happen. So the band would actually be the previous line in the scan lines. So this just simulates it. This actually uses the same line, but you would be seeing, like, if this was a line here, you'd be seeing the first band from the line, the next scan line, and then the next scan line, and then the next scan line. So it was an issue with cheaper decoders, and I had a TV that did this all the time. And then you had chroma bleed, which if we crank up the chroma bleed, let's wait a second. Where's the... Hold on. Oh, we were dealing with banding here. There we go. Let's do you know all these issues, or have you learned them just to create retro effects? I learned them to create retro effects. I knew some of them. Oh yeah, I want to show the settings. Indeed, yes. Sorry about that. I learned all of this. I knew a lot of these things that happen. I didn't have the terms for them or anything. I don't know if you were here, Rambling Geek, when we were working on this. We actually were reading through the NTSC specs from like 1956 for when NTSC was converted to color. That's where we learned a whole lot of these sort of issues that would come up and actually implemented the algorithm that does it by reading the specs. Okay, so past Luma here, let's crank the Luma noise down. Let's set the band size down and band strength and band. We'll get rid of all that. And I'm going to also reduce the ghosting. Oh, negative 100%. Oh yeah, I forgot I added negative ghosting, which just looked cool at the time. Is NTS still a thing? It is not. No. Tess should use the video camcorder font. I've got that font installed. I've done that before. So we go down to chroma. We have what's called chroma bleed. And if I crank this up to like maybe 50 and crank the bleed strength all the way up, you'll see around me, around my hand, especially over like the white door here. See how there's just this like bleed of my skin tones that come off. The white is actually bleeding into the green thing here. It's a bleed that you got in the chroma signal as it would read across the chroma signal. So you'd get, because the chroma is, if I'm remembering right, the wave shift in the essentially radio signal that's coming through. And as you had drastic changes in chroma values, you would have to do this really fast shift of a waveform. And a lot of times the encoders and the decoders couldn't handle that. So you'd get this chroma bleed. It is one of the reasons why you didn't want to wear that on TV back before. And if I crank up the oversaturation of it, now you can really see it. You know, we can blow those things out of the water so that they become super, super apparent. Let me crank that down. What else do we have? So that was the oversaturation. And then we got dot crawl. And dot crawl was one of these things. This was magic. This was absolute magic, because dot crawl is it's essentially a bleed over from the Luma waveform piece and the chroma waveform piece. And you would get these little dots that would appear at the bottom of, here, we're going to zoom in on our test here. So you would get these dots that would flicker, and they would either look like they were alternating, or they would look like they were crawling across these big saturation differences. Exceldro coming in with a prime sub. Exceldro, thank you so much for the sub. I absolutely appreciate it. How are you doing today, good sir? But the interesting thing about this, some of these other effects I kind of had to tease in. I kind of had to figure out what was happening with it. Dot crawl is very, very defined. And I literally just, I think it was like one value that got added to cause that overlap, and it just worked perfect. It just worked absolutely perfectly. How resources intensive is the switch to your dog effect? Not at all. Not at all. I didn't know all these things had names. I thought it was just normal. It all has names. But you had what's called dot crawl, and then you had what was called cross color. And cross color would cause this vertical jumping. Dot crawl would cause the horizontal jumping. And you could get rid of one with a comb filter, which was your dot crawl. So you see the dot crawl kind of went away when I cranked my comb filter way up. If we set our rainbow to like 40%, it was a trade-off between the two. So as you set your filter strength up, one would tend to fade out. And you see this gets sort of smoothed out, and the other would fade in. And so the sort of double-edged sword of a comb filter was, which of these artifacts did you want to have? And it's part of it is because I got the amount set super, super high to show them off. But you'd kind of move more from one to another. Not seen you for a while because of our connecting vacations. I'm doing great, Exceldro. I've actually been so busy I haven't had a chance to stream very much lately, but we're getting back into it. I hope your vacation went well. Did you try to run a console emulator, SNES or Genesis, and apply the filter on the output? Yes, I have, Zuri. And it looks freaking good. It looks freaking good, especially if you can take that source and get it to be a 1 pixel to 1 pixel translation. It looks absolutely fantastic. And then lastly, we have picture adjustment. These are the exact same picture adjustment algorithms that were used in a TV that operated on the incoming signal. So when you cranked a brightness or a saturation, this is actually doing exactly the same thing that those dials on your old TV did with your oversaturation, undersaturation, your tint adjustment. Everyone always wondered, why the heck was there a tint adjustment on a TV? Because why would you want to turn all your skin tones green? I remember messing around on the TV in my grandma's bedroom and dialing it in and out and making people green and thinking that was the funniest thing in the world. It turns out that because of internally in the TV how capacitors and things did that tint adjustment, capacitors slowly lose capacitance and resistors start to lose resistance over time, or their resistance goes up over time. So yes, those components would drift, and so you'd need to slowly change your tint value to account for essentially the degradation of the components in your TV. Having worked on video and tech for a while, can confirm all these settings are on point. Isn't it fun? I think it's so fun. And then lastly, you had what was called a hum bar, which, cranking it all the way up here, you see is just a very slow, dark to light transition. You could change the speed of the bar, something like this. Yes, instead of fixing and buying a whole TV. Exactly. Also, it's fun to make the TV look pink when you're 12. Indeed. Indeed. I don't remember exactly why a hum bar occurred, but it is a thing, and I implemented it in the NTSC plugin. So yes, this is my opus. There has been yes, you're right, Zuri. It was a power line issue. I think you're 100% right. I think I'm 90% sure that you're 100% right. And the version of NTSC that's in the existing version of Retro Effects is slightly less physics-based. It's still very physics-based. And it's still really impressive. I'm still working on this one. I'm still working on the shader for this one, because it does do some funny things once in a while that I've been trying to sort out. So that will come soon. Let's see. We also have the cathode boot. The cathode boot. I'm gonna set a few settings here. I also really, really like this one. We're going to set the vertical start to 0, the vertical end to 20, the horizontal start to 20, the horizontal end to 50, and then the fade start at 50 to 100. And now with the Move plugin, anyone else remember turning off the television and having this happen? It compresses the video as the scan line would shut down. Because your scan lines were more tightly packed, your brightness would go up and up and up. And then it would slowly bring in, and then the dot would fade out. And that last dot fading out was the phosphors fading out at the very end. The excited phosphors releasing their excitement. And you've got all sorts of settings here. You could change the timing of the compression and stuff. You could have it shrink in vertically and go horizontally. The down bit, Frank, was actually typically when you turned it on. And that was a degaussing routine. Feels too square. Exactly. It's a setting to change, Shuri. So, you can set your horizontal thickness and your vertical thickness and change all that stuff to get it less square. If none of you had a big back TV, you don't know about this effect. When turning it off, you're officially too young. Indeed. But yeah, you can tune it in to be however you want it to be. So cathode boot is one I really enjoy. Matrix rain. This just gets applied to a whole scene. It takes in the brightness and everything. We're able to colorize it, so you can use the actual colors. Hold on, let me just zoom this back out to 100%. And we'll center this. So you can see I'm back here. Right now, the scale is pretty big, so if we crank the scale way down, I probably should adjust the scale here. You can see that we can see, much more in the background here. We could turn off colorize to use these colors. You could do a hot pink matrix rain effect. We can shift our noise off here, which going positive, that looks very broken. So I got to figure out why that's broken. The point of this was so that you could track with like NVIDIA AR Move if you wanted the horizontal stripes to stick with you. Let's see. We've got our black level settings. We've got our white level settings. Our minimum fade value. So you can crank this up to see more coming in. I'm trying to emulate a red gas plasma screen. I think I would mainly use some of the... Yeah, absolutely. So you can set your minimum and your minimum fade value there for how much contrast you want to show. Active rain brightness, you can crank that up or, reduce it to wherever you want. Does all this work in the new OBS? I heard the last... Yeah, so... This all works in the latest version of OBS, yes. You can change your speed of your rain. You can freeze it. You've got your bloom, how much you want this to bloom out, what you want your bloom threshold to be, and what you want your bloom intensity to be. If you crank this down, you'll see that the individual letters going are fairly not bloomy, but if we crank the bloom up, well, I guess it's not really showing too much here. I guess we'd have to crank the rain brightness. You can start to see the bloom around it. Let's see. What else do we have here? We also have different character sets. So you could use the Matrix Rain character set. I have 70 ASCII characters here, which if we bring this up, you'll see are just like a monospace font. I don't remember exactly which font I used. Here's just with 10 ASCII characters. Here I've got one with emojis, because why not? Why not have it with emojis? But I think the most fun piece on this is you can set a custom character texture. And I have made a little character texture generator where you can use any font you want. You can go ahead and type what characters you want. So like maybe you want Exceldro. Maybe you want Exceldro going on here. And then if we generate the texture, I've got a texture.png here. And if we go back here browse the character, browse for the character file, grab my texture.png, and then I just have to tell it how many characters are in that texture, which was what, 7 characters. So if I set this to 7 characters, now we have Exceldro as what's generating the characters in the Matrix Rain. So we've got that built in. That was a fun project that we did. I should also have a randomize for the characters here, where you could leave the character so it would spell out Exceldro on that. I think we should probably add that feature at some point here. Let's see, what do we have next? Because there's a lot on here. Let's see. The in-video processing, there's no such thing as a parallel effects chain, right? Yeah, I don't think in OBS there is. Because typically, it would only be if you're acting on the same source each time. I don't think you can do that in OBS without some plugin shenanigans, because it goes through a step-by-step effects chain. Yeah, your plugin kind of does it. Yeah, if you're intentionally doing it, you can make it happen, where you can grab a prior texture and act on 2 of them at once and don't just use the standard input texture. But it's not something you can easily just do. You need to intentionally be doing it. Let's see, what else do we have now? We have Matrix Rain. Let's look at Retro Codec. Does anyone remember, like, what the real player codec? You can crank the pixel scale down to 1. Remember the real codec that looked a lot like this in the early days of video on computers? We can start to do all sorts of like keyframe delays here. Let's see if I can. Oh, if I crank the contrast rate way down, when you'd have like ghost pixels that would stay there until all the keyframes got refreshed. So yeah. This one wasn't written by me, and there's currently only one dither type here. This was written by a member of the community. Who was it? It was Jedi. I'll have to look up who it was. I forgot. It was way late. Way long ago. And here you were asking about VHS video effects. So this Chozilla is probably my other opus. This has more settings than just about any other effect here. So we've got frame jitter. That's when you see the frame kind of moving back and forth a little bit here. You can set all the different randomness and intervals on that. We've got tape wrinkle. That's this little line that you see working its way down. You can add crease tears to it. You can add noise to the crease. You can also, let's see, what else is this shouldn't have. Wait a second. No, this. Is that tracking error? Time-based wobble. Is this a tracking dropout? I don't even remember what all these do. Implement a pixel sort effect. So here's the problem, Zuri, with a pixel sort effect. A pixel sort effect that one that just went up was the tape wrinkle. I don't remember which piece is this one. It's been a while since I worked on this. A pixel sort effect is not really possible to do in a pixel shader. We do have my dissolve effect. Do I have that installed here? Well, there's dissolve. What was it called? It was called particle effects, right? Particles? Do I not have particles installed? I don't think I have particles installed. I had folded in Zuri to OBS a what's the word I'm looking for? A compute shader. And it was it worked great, except it had a lot of issues. So, and I think it's broken right now, so I can't show it off. But I had a whole particle system working in OBS. Nah, compute shaders is cheating. Yeah, but you do all the fun stuff with compute shaders. Yeah, those little white lines showing up, those were called pop lines. They were caused by dust on the magnetic tape. They were caused by dust on the magnetic tape. Oh yeah. I mean, I had color bleed set up. Let's turn all the things off. Let's and then we can look at these one at a time. Where is, I guess, minimum size and maximum size? If they're both 0, we won't get any. Tape wrinkle will turn, oh, -20. Okay, I got to look into that. How could you have a negative occurrence probability? We'll turn the size, the duration. We'll turn all these down. Pop lines, we'll set those down here. Okay, so those weren't even pop lines. Those were, pop lines are slightly different. We'll set the noise type there. That's fine. We'll turn off flagging. Get this back to a clean signal. We'll turn down head switching. Oh, wait. These all have to get set to 0, 0. Oh, come on. 0. 0. 0, 0. Oh my god. I might have to take this guy and make an advanced mode or something. Because there's just way too much in this. Tracking error. Intensity is 0. Oh, there we go. That got rid of that. Horizontal displacement. Good lord. There are so many options for this. I have forgotten how much is in here. Have a reset button that sets them all with one click. I think what I need to do is make presets for this. Time-based wobble. And some of these, this is on a working version of this. Some of these were kind of experimental, so some of these might not make the final cut. We're not even, we're like just over halfway through. Holy smokes. Band limit blur. Color degradation. Oh, good lord, man. This is too much. I think I went over the top with this one. I think I went over the top. I worked on this for a while. Oh, I guess the color noise speed can't go to 0. Hi, Steve. How you doing? Do all the effects cause processing when set to 0? They will. They will in this case, because it still is passing through the shader. It's just not doing anything with them. Oh yeah, and then the automatic gain control brightness pump that you had on a cheap VCR. So let's see what these do. Let's just crank the maximum size and the minimum size up. Are we doing anything? Yeah, there you go. Do you see how it did like the little jitter and then came back? So I guess this would be cranking the intervals way down. There you go. So there's your little frame jitter that you would get with a camera. We'll turn that off. Oh. Maximum size, minimum size to 0. Okay. Tape wrinkle. Let's crank up the occurrence probability. I don't know how you'd have 100% here. And this should be... Yeah, there you go. So if we crank the duration way up, we can get it to go slow. Do y'all remember this, like, shimmery line you used to get? That's if you had a wrinkle in the tape. And you would end up with certain amounts of tearing in the tape. Duration. Here you go. And the tears would cause these horizontal lines that would go, and then you could also have noise in the tape. The noise doesn't look too good. I might have to work on that a little bit. Oh, I know why the noise doesn't look good, because I have global noise. So if I set my grain size way down and set my reseed rate way up, that should give me a much nicer noise for this. There you go. There you go. Now I'm feeling that tape wrinkle. And when your favorite movie would do this. Have you considered making a video explaining all this? I have. You were so kind, you rewinded them all. I feel your GPU dying. Most of this stuff, if you're actually using the GPU, Chozilla, are very low impact. I strive to make all these things as efficient as possible. So to give you a little bit of background, Chozilla, I have a PhD in structural engineering, which I did earthquake structural seismic risk assessment, essentially, and almost 75% of what I did was what do you call my brain just went blank. Signal processing. And so I got very good at doing signal processing, and that's what a lot of this is. Joseph, thank you for the follow. I absolutely appreciate it. Your effects happen on the downscale. Right now they are, yes. Yep. So if you downscale, apply the effects, and then upscale, you're doing it on a much smaller texture as well, which will help a lot for efficiency. Exactly, Zuri. Exactly. How you doing, Sean? I hope you're doing well. So let's see here. That's tape wrinkle. So let's crank the tape wrinkle down to 0%. Did it shake me up? Let's see. Then we have pop lines. So yes. Okay, that's right. Pop lines are typically dust on the tape. And so as the magnetic head rolls over the tape, it would smear that dust out, which would give you these faded streaks that would go from left to right across. So you can see these little pops come. Typically, you'd get like 1 or 2 a minute. So pop lines were typically quite rare. But I'd let you crank it up so you can get a ton of them. Like if you wanted about 1 a second, you could set this to like 60 and you'll roughly get 1 a second. So those were the pop lines. This noise is a noise field applied to, unfortunately, Chozilla, the OBS UI can't do it, which sucks. It sucks. So I can either give the flexibility of setting whatever you want, or it would be awesome if we could do like logarithmic scales or something like that. I would love that, but we can't. This lets you change what noise is used. You can select between a white noise and a blue noise, how often you reseed it. So if you just set it to 1, it's only gonna reseed the noise once a second. If you set it to 60, it'll reseed the noise once every 60 seconds. So you'll either get like, you know, noise that's constantly changing, or you can have noise that kind of jitters as it changes. And then you can set the grain size for the noise. So if you weren't doing an upscale and a downscale, you'd probably want like a 4 or a 6 pixel grain size if you wanted to simulate old looking grain on a high resolution image. If you are doing the upscale and the downscales, you'd want to set the grain size to 1. Flagging was top skew. So if we set this to 0, and let's just set this to like 100 to make it way out there. Now you would get you on an old VHS tape, and this is when you'd start mourning that your favorite video, that one VHS tape that you watched all the time, was getting having issues. The top of the tape would start to stretch, and so you'd get what was called flagging, where you'd get this smearing at the top of the frame. So that's what flagging does. Head switching. So you'd get head switching noise, which is at the bottom of your frame. So you'd basically get an offset of a portion at the bottom of your frame. And it would typically kind of move up and down as the head was switching. There would also be static involved in the head switch. So here you can dial in how much static and the band height you want for that static. And does this static not look like exactly what... Oh, uh-oh. What happened? There it goes. Exactly like what you saw on an old VHS. I mean, I see this and it just takes me back. You'd have then a secondary band. So we'll set the horizontal offset for the secondary band and then the vertical offset. Why am I not seeing anything? Oh, because I've got 0 thickness to it. I have to set a thickness for the secondary band. So yeah, you'd get this secondary band, which then you can start to dial in your vertical offset. That's not 6. That should be 6% because it's a frame percent. And so you'd get that kind of smearing that would bump around here. You could animate all that with the Move plugin. You then have tearing in the lines. You have your switch point drift, which that also would start to move up and down. And then you have your drift speed. And you can see now it jumps around a bit on its own. The time code from original digital tapes, I would do that with a countdown timer. And a good font. That's probably how I would do it. I've thought about adding some of that stuff to this plugin. It's a little tough bringing in fonts and doing things like that. SMPTE, if you remember. Yep. Maybe not more. It wouldn't be in this filter. I would add like a VHS overlays that would do like a play and a record and things like that you could easily then just have it pop over the top of something. Okay, let's crank head switching down. There you go. I mean, this is really what minor head switching typically looked like. It was just that little... maybe split it into 2 or 15 filters. Something like that. Exactly. Let's set all these down to 0. There we go. Okay, tracking error. I think tracking error was the other bands that would come through. We'll set the, let's see, speed oh, yeah. That's exactly what this is. I have to find... Let's crank, let's figure out when we start actually getting... Ah, there you go. So it looked like tape wrinkle, but this was tracking error, which was slightly different. You can change the roll speed on tracking error. You can change the band thickness here on tracking error. You'll notice that instead of it fuzzying up the whole thing, it's a shift in a band that moves vertically, which is what that tracking error was. Also, tracking error would be jumpy like this. So I've added in the option to do speed irregularity, whereas a tape wrinkle would typically be a wrinkle that would go kind of diagonally across your tape when it got folded. So it would go at a very consistent speed up the frame. You would also get edge flutter. So you can see it a little bit better in the big here. You get this kind of edge fluttering going on in the tracking error portions. And then you can crank up the the raggedness within that portion as well. Again, these are things you wouldn't turn them all on. Let's see, signal fade. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing with tracking. Your colors would drop out. So you see how it fades underneath this tracking area. You can turn on or off vertical noise compression here. And yeah, dial in or out your noise density. So you could definitely get this. You saw this effect all the time on VHS tapes. Hey, porpoises, how you doing? How you doing it? All right, how's it going today? And here you can have 2 bands of tracking error, which you would have on a 2-head VCR. Oh, now you can't see it. Thanks, Rugmat, for interrupting my demo here. Don't even start. You were just born like a couple of years ago. You don't know what any of this stuff is. Yes, my invisible can. It's lemon lime, which you can't see, which it's lemon lime, dude. Go back. Just leave. Leave us alone. I'm trying to work here. Trying to work here. Out with you. Come on. Will he ever just leave us alone, chat? Who is that handsome fellow? That's here's your dual head tracking noise. So we've got that set up. Let's bring our intensity down to 0, band thickness down to 0, roll speed, horizontal displacement. Oh, that can be 0. 0, 0, 0. Okay. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter because it's not showing anymore. And then you had time-based wobble. So let's set our amplitude up. You know, this was misreads of the head where you'd actually get a kind of wave that would go through with line jitter and stuff. This was only on a really junk VCR and a badly damaged tape. So that's some amazing plugins. It can paint out objects in your hand. I know, it's impressive, isn't it? Building lore accurate retro plugin. Indeed. Let's get rid of those. Let's see, tape dropouts. These are those little tiny little pop bits that would change brightness and have a length going across here. So a lot of times if you had an old crappy tape that had scratches and stuff in it, it would look something like this. A well worn out tape. You did have ghosting that occurred. So if I set my offset here, typically you would have a lagging ghost as it read across the tape. And it would be this sort of lagging ghosted image. Are you doing any of the NTSC shenanigans? We went over all that before. So what you really can do is combine NTSC with VHS, and then you're just like bathing in the 80s. And you could do double echoes for, again, a 2-head VCR. Band limiting blur. This just kind of adds to the effect. VHS tapes, especially when they were run through composite video and not S video, would be a little bit blurry. So here you can introduce some of that band limit blur. And then lastly, I think no, we have Luma Snow too. Oh, and the brightness pump. We got color degradation, where you can start to crank this up and then the colors start to look like hot garbage. You can start to offset some of the colors. It's similar to that color bleed that happened in NTSC, but you'd actually desaturate areas in the frame. So you see all the colors getting pulled out of my hand because of the blackboard behind me. You'd have some vertical color smear. I mean, it's vertical color smear. You can see it coming off my blue shirt here. Color noise. Oh yeah, the color noise. This is what takes it to the next level. That's right. Y'all remember this look from the 90s? Where you got like the blotchy color going on the VHS tape. And then you can change the speed and the size. You can dial this way down to like very fine color noise. Or more likely it was this big kind of blobby color noise that would go across the frame. And then you can either have it change almost like frame by frame or have it kind of drift. I think some of the effects are way more important for the feel. Oh, 100% Chazilla. 100%. In the days of VHS, we didn't realize all the poor viewing we tolerated just because we got to watch the movies. Not only that, Steve, but you are also watching it on a CRT. And I mean, you can even see it here. Do I have... No. Is this CRT scramble channel? Oh yeah, that was something else I was working on. Anyone else remember this? Anyone else remember this? A TV channel you weren't supposed to be watching back in the day? No one realized how low resolution CRTs, because they looked, yeah, they looked great. They looked great. Yeah, so I've been working on this effect. The problem with the scrambled channel is there's not a lot of information on how the scrambling actually took place. And so I was trying to make something that gave it kind of gave it that effect from my memory. And I'm not super happy with it, but part of it is you had these signals off to the side of the NTSC filter that determine the wave timing. And so it would move off. And so that's why you always got this like alternating dark and light line off the side, because that was actually the timing signal off the side of your frame. The scrambling, it did change over times. Yes. I'm very confused. If the processing change is fixed, do the problems in the original hardware version? Yes, they do. So here we downscale, we introduce the effects, and then we upscale. So all of the effects are baked into the texture that goes on to the next step. So they go in sequence like this from top to bottom. Let's see, what else was down here? Luma Snow, of course. Oh, wait. Oh, grain speed. We'd want to turn up the grain speed. That's why it looks funny. So typical Luma Snow that you'd get. There's shadow bias in the snow where you'd get more snow in dark areas. Or sorry, in I think less light areas and less snow in dark areas. So it changes where the snow comes. You mean the 50 different ones? So the way you would do, oh yes. So this is all a chain. A lot of these are done simultaneously. So there's like 3 or 4 stages to this, and the effects within VHS are applied in the order and where a VHS setup would have applied them. So things that deal with tracking would come in before the signal was processed. And so all of these go through consistent with how a VCR would implement these errors. They're not in the order that they're listed here. The order they're listed here are the order in which I built them out. So yeah, that's Luma Snow. You can even crank up. It looks terrible when it's cranked up, but again, that's more if you're doing let's get rid of the color bleed here. Color offset. Oh, come on. Where are you here? Color noise 0. 0. There we go. And then we'll also get rid of our tape dropouts. There we go. I literally, yes, I studied VCRs in building this up. Yes, multipass, Zuri. Not multi-stage, multipass. It's a multipass shader. And then the brightness pump. This is when a VCR would be hunting for automatic gain control. So if we pop this up and we crank up the speed, you see that you get this random flickering of the brightness that you would get. As it was typically as frames changed, if you had a really bad automatic gain control, you'd get this pulsating of the brightness of the VCR. So that's VHS. We also just have a simple bloom filter here. Can make you look plastic and shiny. You can crank the intensity up if you want. You can crank the size and, the threshold down, like what gets bloom. You can set if you wanted to apply it just to a red channel, a blue channel, a green channel. You can see here I'm blooming out the blue at the bottom here. Or if you wanted a custom channel mix for your bloom. I never thought that VCR would require some form on retro loop for bright. Yeah, exactly. Can you give me the 70s era camera blowout? That's pretty much what this is. We could start to get, we need to add some stars and stuff in here. It's technically accurate. It's less. Oh, 100% Chozilla. This VCR one, I did a ton of work on it about 3-4 months ago, and it needs presets. That's part of why I haven't built in this version of NTSC and this version of VCR into the plugin, because I want to set up presets for it first. Might add a channel point to do that TV on off. Yeah, it's fun. And now in the new version of Retro Effects that will be coming out, it supports alpha channels. So you could even just have your chroma keyed out face cam or whatever blink out and not have it affect the rest of it. So yeah, that's Bloom. That's pretty simple. We got scan lines here. Let's increase the scan line intensity. We got different types of scan lines. You could do square scan lines, sine wave, sawtooth, triangular, smooth step, and triangular, which all have a slightly different look. You've got the period of the scan lines. So you can have these like giant scan lines that take forever to move, which then of course you can do up the speed. You can change the intensity. You know, this is 200%. So at 100%, you're going from 0 opacity to 100% opacity. At 200%, you're actually like blowing the things out. Giant scan lines, camera on CRT. Exactly. Then we have digital glitch. I love the digital glitch effect. I won't go over all. I mean, there's a bunch of different, you know, you can do more color drift, the blockiness. It's kind of like a, you know, a MPEG encoding issue going on here. Hold on one second here, chat. And there's just all sorts of settings you can do here. Does the digital glitch work? It does, Chozilla. In fact, here, I'll show you a really cool effect we built using it. If I transition to being my dog, I'm using the digital glitch effect. Well, also the finite singularity down here at the bottom uses digital glitch, right down here. But if I do the transition to the dog, it takes the digital glitch and makes it huge, so everything's glitching off the frame. Then we switch to the dog and then go back. And this is what that looks like. Oh, shoot. Never mind. That one isn't it. It must be the, is it this one?
There you go. It's the hacker effect.
I did a YouTube video of the dog glitch effect, which is why I was thinking I did it on the stream. But yeah, if you watch this, you'll see I literally just ramp up the glitch on myself, add in the filters for HackerMan, and then reduce the glitch back down to 0. So it works perfectly on sources with alpha transparency. And then we've got analog glitch, which is much more organic in nature, as an analog glitch would be. Oh, sorry. God, scene change. So there you go. We got analog glitch here, which is analog in nature, right? And there's all sorts of different settings for this one. You can start to do like color drift on the analog glitch. Obviously, you wouldn't want to do it that big. You can start to do desaturation in the glitch, where the more it glitches, the more the saturation goes down. You have primary and secondary waves and the maximum displacement of the glitches. So that's all customizable. And then lastly, the scrambled channel effect that I've been working on. So that's where we are with Retro Effects right now. Now we need to make it work. Now we need to make it work with Flatpak. So there you go, Chozilla. I think this is probably my most feature-filled plugin. I think it's the most feature-filled plugin. You have an effect where your character gets more stable the more viewers there are. Oh, yeah, that'd be very cool. And with something like that, you could also... Oh, God, now you're gonna... Does this work here? Okay, so you could do something there. Let's add a... Retro Effects. We're going to add a digital glitch. And if you did something like setting your block width smaller. So let's do like block width, you know, we'll leave that at 60 and set this to like 100. Block height, set this to like 60. And, you know, go ahead and set like some big color drift here. We'll do this like 70, I don't know, min interval, max interval. Some bigger drift distance here, some big drift distance here. You would literally, you could start with the slider here, and as more people join the stream, literally dial it back to stable. So there's a lot of fun stuff you could do with that. And again, it's you can see it works great on alpha channeled channels or layers. So there you go. Woo! I always love doing a tour of it takes like an hour to go through Retro Effects because it literally has so much. Yes, you can use WebSocket server to set plugin values. Absolutely. Okay. Let us figure out now how to get this puppy in Flatpak. Again, you won't see all of the super deep stuff on NTSC or VHS in particular, and the channel scramble effect is not built into the current version of Retro Effects. Those are still kind of underworked for me. I want to get them out here relatively soon, but let's figure out how we're doing this. So I have got, let's see, if I go to if I don't want to merge, please confirm commits 1. I gotta find like, oh, you know what? I don't want closed. I want to find merged. Is there just like a merged option? There we go, merged. That's what I want. I know I've had stuff merged from Flatpak. Maybe they're archived? Interesting. More streamers on Linux a week after. Something like that. I gotta find my PRs. It's been a long time since I've done this. So maybe if I just do is a PR involves me and the repo is flat. Why do I only have 2? Is there a separate Flatpak? I gotta find the old ones because I know I've done one for Composite Blur. I thought Stroke Glow Shadow was... Gah. Oh, a repository for this submission has been created. Okay. So let me just first make sure that there is no... Let's just look at Composite Blur. There we go. Okay, here we go. So there's a whole new repo that gets created. A Flatpak is an easy way to release software on what's it called? On Linux. Let me just make sure So there indeed is none for Retro Effects. Let's look at Composite Blur. These are the files that I would need. Wow. So it makes a bunch of branches and stuff like that. This is all very interesting. So it looks like we need these 3 files. I know I also created a... Let's go to GitHub. We're going to go to me, finite singularity, and then I got to search through my repos. You had a question. You shared that Andy was talking about your 2 plugins in a video recently. Have you considered looking into a way to allow things like stroke to work when cropping sources? It's not possible, CAD. It's not possible. OBS renders the texture for that source and then crops it. So it takes the original, applies all filters, and then applies the crop and composites it. So it's just not possible to do. I find the Flatpak environment a bit confusing and tend to bloat systems like NPS quite possibly. Tony, how you doing? What's going on? Okay, so I got repositories here, and I have one that is, oh, not Finite Sandbox. Plugins FlatHub. And okay, so I've got a quick access utility. I've got a stroke glow shadow. Why do I not see my, maybe I deleted the branches. Doing well, Tony. We're just trying to figure out Flatpak for Retro Effects. This was recent enough. Let me just see in development, OBS, plugins. Is there any Flatpak anywhere here? It doesn't look like it. Where does all this... Your first Flatpak packages are not managed by you. Exceldro, I don't even know what's going on. I honestly don't know what's going on. Maybe they're in... There's one other place where all this stuff could live, which would make perfect sense for it to live there. And that is in Whizzle. So let me list what do we have here? CD development, CD OBS. Nope. Nope. Yeah, it doesn't live here either. I'm seeming to remember that somewhere I have a repository. You had to copy over files into the Flatpak OBS manually. Yeah, I'm trying to remember somewhere. Oh, new PR. Okay, so that's for them to set things up. Stale all. Okay, what I probably should do here is sync this fork. Because then I can make a PR and everything, and we'll do it with the latest version. So let's go ahead and sync this fork. And I think we'll just use the composite blur one as an example. Would this release that you are making work if I copied it over into the structure? The release before just... I don't know, Chozilla. I honestly don't know. Hold on here. Sync fork. Update a branch. Now, if I could find where my Flatpak stuff is... Can we search for this? Yeah, that's not going to give me anything. Yeah, I have no idea where it is. Temp PR? Oh! I bet this is it. I bet this is it. No, this is definitely not it. This is something else that I was working on the other day, and it can be thrown in the trash. Never mind. That's most definitely not it. Oh man, never mind. This is going to take forever to delete because it's all of the OBS files. So, plugins. Oh, chat. I call it Flat Hub and not Flatpak. This is what we want right here. This is the directory. I knew I had set something up. I knew it. I just knew it. So let's go ahead and we will go in a, here. Here's what we're going to do, chat. CD development, plugins, OBS, plugins, quick, change it to Flatpak so you don't get confused again. No. Because it actually is Flat Hub that we're submitting it to. Okay, so I've got the quick access utility branch checked out now. So we will get check out. Is it main or I guess it's master still. I will get pull. Really? I can't pull. How do we list the origin? I can never remember this. Get list origin. Get remote -v. So it's my own. It's my own. This isn't happy. Oh, and I guess I'm using... You know what we're going to do? We're going to switch this over to using HTTPS because my SSH stuff is all screwed up. What do you want? Oh, man. You having a rough day? You look like you're having a rough day. So let me go back here. Where is... There we go. Copy you. And then we're going to... I need to change remote. Okay, get remote set URL origin. There we go. Get remote set URL origin. There we go. Now I'm going to try get pull. There we go. Now it'll work. Whew. Okay. So we've got that set. I want to now get You know what? We're going to open this in Visual Studio Code. We are going to use all the Visual Studio codes here. And I think I set up like an initial, let's see, new, I guess it's just new PR, isn't it? I guess that's the only one, so that's fine. So we'll open up new, we'll set this to new PR. Go away, Copilot. I don't want you. I don't want you here at all. And I believe what I should be able to do is get rebase master to pull this to the current. And now I've got an open dealy mabob here, an open branch. I want to rename, or how can we copy a branch to another branch? That's essentially what I want to do. So get copy branch to new. Oh, I guess I just branch off of this branch, right? What do we do for this? Check out branch and then branch. Yeah, so I've checked out the branch. I want to see what they what do they tell us to do here? To install applications that are Flathub is a central place for more information and more on creating packages. Okay, submitting a new package. If you're submitting a new package, app requirements and app. Also double check that your PR again is against the new PR branch. Perfect. Perfect. So I'm going to branch off of this one. So we are going to get checkout. And this will be Retro Effects. Retro Effects. Right? Is that what I called the other ones? I just called them Stroke Glow Shadow, and yes, perfect. I do most of the stuff with visual help. I try not to, because I'm all like, ooh, I'm just gonna learn how to do this so that I know how to do it next time from the command line, because all the super elite hacker folks who are all good at the hackers stuff are good at the command line, and then I do it once and then I promptly forget everything. And that is my life. Retro perfect. It should, shouldn't it? Okay. So we check out Retro Effects. Now that we've checked out Retro Effects, I think I just have to create the files in here that are the same as the files that we have in here. So instead of Stroke Glow Shadow, I'm actually going to use Composite Blur. So Composite Blur, blah, 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 blah. That looks great. Flathub. So we need a flathub.json file. Skip icons true. Only arches 64. Oh, there's an OnlyFans joke in there somewhere. Disable external data checker true. Okay. So I'm going to assume we need to add this file. Right? There's nothing else in there. Am I doing this right? Is this how this works? Oh, you know what? The other thing I want to look at real quick. Okay. Pull requests not open. My pull requests. Is PR author me? I know. Oh, on plugins Flatpak. Got it. I just want to find my prior pull requests. How did I do the pull request to make Composite Blur in the first place? So that's going to be Flathub. Flat Hub, pull requests, and then I want to find all the pull requests, my pull requests, and it doesn't need to be opened. So I've got 2 pull requests, but I don't have any that were merged. But I guess I can see what it looked like. Files changed. Okay, so it literally is just committing these files. It looks like that's all it is. Skip icons check. Oh, you know what? Skip icons and only arches. And it looked like this one was actually ready to go. There was a slash merge. But somehow it never ended up. Okay. I feel like the blind in off in the wilderness when it comes to this. Initial SGS Flatpak setup. Plugin for adding inner and outer glow strokes and shadows, finite singularity, GitHub that, metadata license 1.5.2, and the release date. Okay. Let's just do this. Let's go ahead here. I want to view the file. Raw. Copy this. Is it something interesting to everyone as a whole? If so, you can feel free to post it here. Related to this, yeah, absolutely. Then post it here. Post it here. Okay, let me copy this. Copy the text. And for some reason, copying that text always adds who wrote it into it. Okay, build project status. Yeah, it looks like it's building and doing the thing. Because what ends up happening is then every time OBS gets updated or the project gets updated, Flatpak goes and rebuilds a new version for that new version of OBS or whatever. So all of that ends up being automated once you do the first one. So it's the first PR that's the tricky one. So let's see. 6 months. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and we're going to make a flathub.json file and add this to it. So new file. Flathub.json. What? I didn't want to paste that. I wanted to paste this. Copy. Paste. Save. Then we're going to have a com.obsproject.studio.plugin.retro effects metadata. New file. And let me just move this down. So this is going to be com.obsproject.studio.plugin.retro effects.meta.info.xml. Boom. There we go. So now we're going to copy. Oh, I guess I open it like that. Copy you. Don't you just have a flatpak.json in your normal project source code? Do you make a new project for this? There's probably a way to do it in your normal source code. I have no idea what that would be. So Okay, so line by line, we need to then go and add this. This Chozilla is part of why it can be such a pain in the butt. As far as from what I understand. No, go away. This is going to be Retro Effects. And I guess I can grab a summary line, probably from the plugin here. Let me just go to... Oh, stop it. github.com/me/OBS Retro Effects. And a collection of OBS filters to give your stream that retro feel. There we go. That's my summary. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm actually going to just copy you now for the home page. Paste. That looks good. That looks good. Releases. Okay. So I've only got a few releases here. I've got the latest is 1.0.2. Oh, 1.0.2. The date is November 13th, 2025. Okay, that's correct. Then we've got 1.0.1. And that date is August 2nd, 2025. And then finally, we've got 1.0.0, which is July 3rd. July 3rd, 2024. There we go. Those are our releases. Let me just check this one more time. 1.0.0. July 3rd, 2024. We got 1.0.1, which is August 2nd, 2025. And then lastly, we have got November 13th, 2025, which is 1.0.2. Linux developer Glorious Eggroll, creator of Bazite OS, had once offered to build Flatpak plugins from plugins not available for Very nice. Some people have done this. And they worked. The first couple that came out, I never built them, and then I took them back over. So that might be part of why I don't have... That might be part of why I don't have the thing for them. I know it's been transferred over to my ownership or whatever. Okay, com.obsproject.studio.plugin.retroeffects. com.obsproject.studio. Retro Effects, collection of filters. Retro Effects, and those are my versions. Okay, I think we are good to go there. Next up, we have this other XML file. Come on, you can do it. Why are you taking so long to load? Oh, remember when GitHub used to be nice and snappy and fast and didn't have AI shoehorned in? Oh my God, just load. Okay, this is the YAML file now. We're doing all the sorts of markup languages now. Yet another markup. Oh, never mind. Okay, so we're gonna have a new file here. You know what? I'm gonna move you here. I'm gonna move you down here so that I can... You know what? I'm actually just gonna copy this. There we go. So we're gonna make a new file here. We're gonna paste this in, and we're gonna change this to Retro Effects. I'm going to copy all of the contents of this one. Luckily, this file is not too long either. Let's see. This will be Retro Effects. Okay, I will let you complete that. App plugins retro. Oh, okay, yes. So this is name is Retro Effects. Oh, I'm gonna need the commit for each of these builds too. Hooray! Release build out of tree on. Okay, that should all be fine. That will be retroeffects.git. Oh god, did it know what this commit was? No, it did not. 1.0.2, that is not the commit tag. How can I get the entire commit tag? Full SHA. There we go. But wait a second. Bug fix. Okay, so this is it. You could just make the newest version the only version. Probably. So that should be it. Oh. It literally only has me put in the latest, so that's fine. Okay. Retro effects, stable, build extension, all this should stay the same. Version 1.02 is hash is 35E9616 so that seems right. Retro effects metadata. Okay. So it looks like we have these. Copying. Okay, so this is all GPL. My other versions of this didn't have any of these files. So I don't know if I leave the files. Is there just like a... Let's go back to that submissions page. Let's see if we can tease out what I'm probably doing wrong here. Let's copy this. If you want to create a Flatpak, see the documentation. There we go. Let's... It's one of those things, from what I understand, Chozilla, that once you get it set up, for the most part, it just kind of works. Using Flatpak, building your first Flatpak. This tutorial provides a quick introduction. Add a manifest. We'll use the free desktop 2500 SDK from OK. Each Flatpak is built using a manifest which provides basic information about the application of the build instruction. Okay, so that's like what we just built. Okay, so this is to actually do this on your machine. Create PR from new PR branch, not the master branch. Yep, that's what I did. That's what I did, Exceldro. Do you delete... When I created the new PR, it also created this contributing and copying and readme and code owners files. Are those needed now? Or can I just nuke those? Because those did not seem to be in any of my prior commits. I mean, I guess in that case, you should not... Oh, okay. So I must have branched off the wrong thing. You know what? We're gonna git stash. Git status. I do not see the rest of the files in that PR. Yeah, so where can I see? Okay, so Retro Effects. Oh, God. If I go to new PR... Oh, I bet these files were here, and when I switched the PR, they just came along for the ride? Yeah, the files aren't changing at all here. I think you got them from the checkout because you rebased from the new remote, didn't you? I did. I did. Yeah, so this is only... Hey, coming in with the raid. How you doing, A? How was your stream? Raiders, welcome to the stream. We are doing something incredibly boring today. We're trying to get this thing working with Flatpak, one of my plugins. So that's what we're doing. Normally we do OBS plugin development and stuff here on stream. Oh my God, it's almost 1 in the afternoon. Stream be good. A lot of business card done at the end. Very nice. Very nice. Well, welcome on in, everyone. I got to get this figured out real quick here because I need to get on to other work today. I'm very close to the end of my streaming timeline. Why don't we... Oh, you know what? I forked this from my own, didn't I? Let's do a little git clone. You know what we're gonna do here? We're gonna go to my repos. We don't overlap. Exactly. Well, I really appreciate this, the raid, and bringing your awesome community over here. So thank you very, very much. Here we go. We're gonna copy you. Then we are going to git clone this, and then I'm going to just call this Flat Hub. And we're going to go into code Flat Hub. Jackie Codes, holy coming in with the ginormous raid. Jackie, how was your stream? I hope you had an absolutely amazing stream. Welcome on in, Raiders. I'm Finite Singularity, aka Mark, aka whatever else you want to call me. We do a whole lot of OBS plugin development on this channel, and currently, if you want to see someone get irrationally frustrated, stick around, because I am trying to figure out how to get one of my plugins working with FlatHub. Gotta run. Have a great stream. I hope your stream went so well, Jackie, and thank you so much for bringing your amazing community over here. I really do appreciate it. For the new folks that are coming in, yeah, we're trying to get one of my plugins working with FlatHub or Flatpak for Linux users. And yeah, I don't know if I would call, I would refer to this as fun. In fact, it's a little bit frustrating actually right now at the moment. So yes, it looks like these files come through from master, I want to check out origin new PR. There, and everything went away. I must have made a boo-boo here. So we're going to go ahead here. And we are going to, now that we are in our new PR, I'm going to git checkout branch. And if I do a git checkout branch right now, it should branch off of it should branch off of the current branch, correct? I hope so. Welcome to the stream, Try. Let's see. If we branch off of this, maybe that was my problem. Does it check out with a branch, not check out from the branch you're currently on? Let's give that a try. So I'm going to make a new Retro Effects. Okay. This is looking good. This is looking good because we created none of those new files. So I must have done something dumb here. Back when I tried the Flatpak version of OBS, it was really weird with plugins, so I appreciate the work. Thank you, Solar Labyrinth. We heard you like branching. We heard you like branches, so we branched your branch so you can branch while you're branching. Awesome. Awesome. Let's see here. Okay, we're gonna get this done. We are going to get this done right here. Try. I am over on Twitch as well, so I am dual streaming to both platforms. Okay. We are good now. And we are going to go ahead and grab these 3 files. I believe I can just copy and then go ahead over here and we will paste. There we go. So we got those 2 files in. We're going to copy this file as well. And paste. Okay. Let's see. So we've got FlatHub set up. Try. I really don't worry about that. Okay. So we've got FlatHub. We've got our 2 XML files. And I think that's all we need, right? So if I were to git commit and just give this a commit message of let's see, I guess initial Retro Effects setup, whatever. Oh shoot, I gotta git add first. There we go. And then if I were now to push this up to, oh my goodness, this song. It's got the words. Really don't mean anything. It's all good, Try. It's all good. I'm scrambling because don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm scrambling because I'm trying to get this out the door, and then I actually have to call the stream because I will be done at that point. No worries. No worries. Okay, we've pushed this up to the GitHub. Let's go ahead and go check this out. If I now go to me/plugin FlatHub, I have a new guy here ready for a pull request. I think this should all be good. So why don't we go ahead now, and we are going to commit this back. Here's the part that I have to let's see, debugging, publishing. There we go. Repositories. Hosting a repository. We commit back to... we commit back to... where? This is the part that I can't remember. Exceldra, are you still around? Do we commit back to this branch? I know we fork from the branch, but who do we commit back to? You would think... You would think it would be right here. Contributing. If you are submitting a new package, app submissions pages, also double check that your PR is against the new PR branch. Okay. I'm confused. An empty repo to merge in your plugin. Yeah, so what ends up happening, Chozilla, is we're going to make a PR back with our setup files back to the FlatHub repo. They have essentially a bot that monitors it, and as soon as it sees this new PR back, it creates a whole new repo, puts everything in there, does all the build, and goes from there. So this is a way that they can check to make sure you're submitting, you know, the proper files and everything. App submission, build and install. Exactly. Git clone, branch new PR. Okay. Create a new branch for your submission. Perfect. Please do not open the PR against the master branch. Okay. Add the required files. Now open a pull request against new PR branch. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So now all we need to do is go to... Here's our changes code. Where's our compare and pull request? So we want to send retro effects from here to the new PR. Okay. Perfect. And then there's probably all of this information here that we need to fill out. Okay, I think we're starting to get it. What are their rules? Do they have their rules on what the title has to be and all that stuff? Because I think there are rules on that. I think the rules are the checklist. I think so too. Are they in the checklist? Do they talk about the title itself? Submission pull requests must be made against the new PR test branch. Please go to the preview tab to view the markdown below. Please confirm your submission with all the criteria. Replace each with an X when the step is complete. Please tick and write NA with a reason. Oh, hold on. Okay. So please describe the application briefly. Okay, so we can actually grab this. You know what? We're just going to use our summary because that was a good summary for this. So the summary was where? A collection of yeah, we'll also indicate it's an OBS plugin. So we will say an OBS plugin which is a collection of OBS filters to give your stream that retro feel. Please attach a video showcase. Are you freaking kidding me? Really? I've got to make a video. Just say NA. Yeah. With a reason. You know why they want you to do this? They want you to do this because they want to make sure that you've tested it on your local machine and that it actually works. Which I get. I get it. But it makes it such a pain in the butt. Mr. Exceldro, if you're around, have, I probably should test it. Ugh. Okay. You know what? I've got the whole thing set up, so take a clip from the start of the stream. Well, you have to show it on Linux using the Flatpak. That's what they're... Okay. I'm going to have to do this part off stream. I do have to grab some lunch, and I do have meeting and stuff coming up. So I will get this done this afternoon. Chozilla, I'll give you an update over on the Discord, because I know it takes a while. It's got to go through all these processes before it becomes live, so it might take a day or two to get it live. But I will go ahead and do this just to get it done and ensure that it actually works. So, okay. With that, let's find someone over on Twitch to raid. For all those still over on YouTube, if anyone is still over there, thank y'all for hanging out. I will be back tomorrow streaming, and we will work on either this or something new. Hopefully not this. So see y'all later, everyone on YouTube.